In this video, we're going to work backwards with volume, which means we're going to actually have the volume, but we're going to use that to work backwards, so solving equations to find a missing side length. So let's look at a rectangular prism. If the volume of the prism shown below is 252 cubic centimeters, we want to find the width if the length is 9 and the height is 4. So I'm going to start by looking at my formula, length times width times height. I'm going to plug in what I know. So I know the volume, I know the length, and I know the height. So then I'm going to simplify this. So 9 times 4 is 36. I'm going to divide both sides by 36 to use inverse operation. On the right-hand side, my 36 is cancel. And then 252 divided by 36 is 7. Therefore, my width is 7 centimeters. This cylinder has a volume of 112 pi inches cubed, and the height is what we're looking for if the radius is 4 inches. So I'm going to start by writing down my formula. Then I'm going to substitute in what I know. Now I'm looking at this equation and I notice right away that there's a pi symbol on both sides. So I'm going to first simplify both sides, and I'm going to do that by dividing by pi. So these actually cancel out the pi on both sides. So I'm left with 112 equals 4 squared times h. Next, I'm going to simplify the right-hand side of my equation to get 16h and then solve for h. I'm going to do that by dividing both sides by 16, and 112 divided by 16 is 7. In this example, we have a cone. Our cone has a volume of 9,420 millimeters cubed and a height of 10 millimeters. So we want to figure out what is the radius to the nearest millimeter. So I'm going to start with the volume formula for a cone. I'm going to substitute in the 10 for h and 3.14 for pi. I'm going to multiply all the numbers together on the right, and I get approximately 10.47. So you'll notice I changed the equal sign to the approximate symbol so that I know that I'm rounding at this point. Next, I'm going to divide both sides by 10.47. They'll cancel out on the right. And when I divide on the left-hand side, I get 900 to be r squared. So I need to undo my square by taking the square root. So I'm going to square root 900, and my radius is 30. This time we're going to find the volume of a cone, but we are given the diameter and the slant height, so not the up and down vertical height, but the slant height. So this has a diameter of 10, therefore the radius is 5, and the slant height is 13. So you'll notice we have a little right triangle here, which means we are going to pull in the Pythagorean Theorem. So we're going to start with a squared plus b squared equals c squared. I'm going to substitute in the 13 for c and the 5 for a squared. I'm going to simplify both of those, subtract 25 on both sides. So I'm left with b squared equals 144. I'm going to take the square root of both sides. So b is 12, which means the height of this cone is 12. So now I've got the height and I have my radius. So now I'm going to plug it into my formula for the volume of a cone. So I'm going to substitute in the numbers to show my work, multiply that all together, and my volume is approximately 314 units cubed. And lastly, let's look at a sphere. We want to find the diameter of a sphere with a volume of approximately 113.04 inches cubed. So I'm going to start with my formula for the volume of a sphere. I'm going to substitute in the numbers that I know. I'm going to simplify the right-hand side by multiplying together 4/3 times 3.14, and you get about 4.19. So now I'm going to divide both sides by 4.19. It'll cancel out on the right-hand side, and I'm left with approximately 27 equals r to the third. So now I need to undo r to the third, and to undo that, I'm going to take the cube root of 27. And the cube root of 27 is 3, which means my radius is 3, but be careful, it's asking for the diameter, which means my diameter then is going to be 6.